Good morning, children. Very good morning. Lesson 4, Literary Heritage of India. In this chapter, we are going to study about language, literature, ancient Indian literature, Brahmanical literature, the universities, the ancient universities of India, medieval literature, and many more things. So, please pay attention, all of you. Listen to me carefully. After completion of the lesson, you have to read the lesson twice. The answers are being marked in your textbook. Just go through it, and afterwards write the exercise notebook in the notebook, question answers in the notebook. Now, man took help of expressions, symbols, drawings, and sounds to communicate his thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions to others. See, this we are talking about ancient time. At present, you people, we all, we have language to speak, we have language to communicate. But that time, there was no language as such. So people were expressing themselves by symbols, by drawing it, by making some sound, because they have to communicate. See, we are the social animals. We communicate with each other through language. We express our emotions. We talk with each other. But that time they communicate their thoughts, ideas, feelings to each other by this method. Afterwards, this led to invention of dialects and scripts, writing the scripts and dialects. This script contributed to the development of language. The dialects and scripts, they contributed in the development of language. Over a period of time, language was being used for expression of thoughts. Dhime dhime, slowly and gradually, after a period of time, language was being used for expression of thoughts. And then the constructive use of language led to creation of literature. Once a language has been expressed for expressing the thoughts, then the creation of literature started. Now, our Indian literature is known for its diversity and uniqueness. It's very unique and having diversity. Indian scholars divided ancient literature into Vedic and classical literature into two types. Our ancient literature is divided into two, that is Vedic and classical. Besides this, some folk literature were also popular. Folk means area wise, some region, or every region is having their folks. So that literature has also become popular. Language and literature. If we quickly look at the history, we can see an emergence of variety of languages since centuries. These languages influenced one another and it resulted in development of literature. As a result, some new languages and literature have been developed and flourished. If you look into the history, we will see the variety of languages since centuries, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And they have been developed and also flourished. The best example of this is Sanskrit. Sanskrit language is less in use in present time. Anyway, children, you are learning Sanskrit, but it is being used that time. Everyone was using. Generally, it was the language for communication, but now it is being used less. But still, we are. You are also learning. We have a good example. You are learning. People are doing masters and doctorate in Sanskrit. So, at present also, how we hear Sanskrit through religious ceremonies, worshipping rituals, it is all in Sanskrit language. Now, generally, language provides opportunity for the humans for better expressions and understanding. India's most ancient script is that of Harappan civilization. You know, children, you have studied also about it. Harappan civilization is said to be the oldest civilization. So, ancient scripts which we have got through, this is from the Harappan civilization, which has not been deciphered, and so we have not obtained much information about their language. Harappan civilization during that time, It is said to be the most ancient script, right? But some of them have not been deciphered, but have not been properly recognized by us. Like उसको सही तरीके से पढ़ नहीं पाए, इसीलिए बहुत सारे इंफॉर्मेशन हमें पता ही नहीं उस समय के लैंग्वेजेस के. महर्षि पाणिनि was a great Sanskrit grammarian. See, for language, for making a language strong, grammar is very important. It plays a very important role. So that time Maharshi Panini was a great Sanskrit grammarian. This can be your answer of 1 mark. Maharishi Panini was a great Sanskrit grammarian. The most important book of that time was Maharshi Panini's Ashtadhyay. Ashtadhyay, which is a noteworthy book of Sanskrit grammar of 4th century. We're talking about the hundreds of years, many centuries past. Sanskrit is considered the language of Aryans. In the first chapter, we have studied about the different tribes. So Aryans were using this language. This language is of sages or language of scholars. The scholars, those who were there of that time, were using this language. It has been accepted by all the international level that Sanskrit is the best language for the computer use. Sanskrit was the chief language for knowledge, science, religion and philosophy. Now we'll see the next. Ancient Indian literature, Veda. Veda mean knowledge and they are 4. So we have 4 Vedas. Rigved, Samved, Yajurved, Atharvaved. And specifically, what are the contents of this Veda? We will see one after another. Rigveda. The most ancient book of Indian literature is the Rigveda. If we talk about our Indian literature, the oldest book is Rigveda. It consists of 1028 verses. How many? 1028. It is a wonderful work divided into 10 divisions. Most of the verses were prayers of God. They were used during yagnas. Now also we perform yagnas. हवन जिसको बोलते हैं हम अपनी नॉर्मल भाषा में, यज्ञास. उस समय बहुत बड़े पैमाने में होता था. अब भी हम घर में पूजा पाठ करते हैं तो हवन करते हैं, मंदिरों में होता है तो आप लोगों ने देखा होगा. Among the verses, those worshipping Usha, Usha यानी सुबह, the goddess of dawn, are fascinating. This work describes political, social and religious matters of Aryans who were residing in the region of Sapta Sindhu, northern part of India. Samved. 3 other Vedas were also composed after Rig Veda. First was Rig Veda, then comes Samveda. Samveda is composed to focus on the process of recitation of verses. Hence it is known as Gangotri of music. This is also, please note down, this is 1.1 answer. While teaching, I will be giving you the hints. You just mark it, read the questions, and then just go through these answers which I am asking you to mark it. This is your 1.1 answer. Then comes Yajurveda. It is called a Veda of Yagnas. It is composed in both the forms, prose and verse. This describes the hymns recited at the times of Yagnas and the religious practices and rituals. Next comes Atharva Veda. Atharva Veda describes the rituals and different sanskaras. Now Vedas then says Upanishads. Upanishads is the literature, gives a vivid description and analysis of the beginning of the universe, the mysteries of life and death, materialistic and spiritual world. Brihadaranya and Jahanodagya are the earliest of Upanishads in the dialogue form, and in all 108 mentioned in Muktiko Upanishads. Next is Brahmanical literature. Brahmanical epics were composed to understand the meaning of Vedic literature. Any critical appreciation based on Vedas composed in the poetic form are included in. See, Vedas already we have gone through, there are 4 Vedas, and if there are some difficulties, then it is being mentioned in this Brahmanical literature. Vedic literature are directive principles regarding behavior have been explained broadly. Now, Aryankas. Aryankas means what? Aryans used to spend their लास्ट फेज ऑफ लाइफ इन आर्यंकास। आर्यंस जो थे वो अपने लास्ट फेज ऑफ लाइफ, अपने ज़िंदगी के आखिरी समय में वो फॉलो करते थे आर्यंकास, मेकिंग देयर आश्रम्स इन आर्यंकास, दैट इज इन फॉरेस्ट. They composed literature based on philosophy, which was the result of their deep thinking, and that is what is known as Aryankas, because they were following it. Vedangas. The Vedangas literature deal with the religious practice and rituals, grammar, astrology, and astronomy. You might be heard about, must be knowing about Ramayana and Mahabharata. These are the two great Indian epics. The present form of these epics can be traced back to the 2nd century. The Ramayana is a story of Ramchandra, the king of Ayodhya, and the Ramayana is a smaller epic than the Mahabharata. It narrates many attractive stories of adventure. Mahabharata is said to be the world's largest epic, which is having 1 lakh verses. This describes the war between Kauravas and Pandavas, and besides, it also consists of numerous stories. The Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata, which gives us a deep philosophical principles. It conveys the message of achieving moksha, that is salvation, through jnana, karma and bhakti. What is that? Gyan, karma and bhakti. Both the epics are said to be influencing millions of Indians and the literature of a long time. They have implanted motivational seeds of sanskaras in Indians. During the period of Sanskrit, literature was produced, which contained a good combination of religious and worldly aspects of life. In Sanskrit literature, it has been produced, and what it has been contained of combination of religious and worldly aspects of life. See, anyway, we are born on this planet, we are living on this planet. So what is going around with us? We also follow any of the religion. There are so many religion prevailing in the world. So when, if you are believing in the religion, what is being mentioned in this epics and in our philosophy, mythology, and also the worldly aspects of life, जीवन में क्या क्या हम जीते समय महसूस करते हैं. The Puranas plays an important role in explaining initial Vedic religion of earlier times. During this period, many scriptures and Smriti Granthas were composed. These scriptures dealt with the science and philosophy. That time also science was there, of course. Through that only nowadays the scientists, the researchers they are going very deep into it. This, for example, Kautilya Arthashastra is a book. Kautilya, the other name of Chanakya, is a book of management as well as book on various topics such as arts, mathematics and other sciences. The Smriti Grantha as explains the religious teachings, laws and customs. The earlier Buddhist literature, which is written in Pali, not in Sanskrit. Pali was a little simple language which was used by the common people around. And as we have already seen, the Sanskrit was generally used by the scholars and the sages. As it is divided into 3 sections, it is known as Tripitaka, which is consisting. Now in Tripitaka, it is consisting of Sukta Pitika, Vinaya Pitika and Abhidhamma Pitika. See, again I am repeating, in Buddhist literature which is written in Pali, it is having 3 sections as Tripitika. In that Tripitika, Sukta Pitika, Vinaya Pitika and Abhidhamma Pitika. Besides, many other works were also composed in Buddhist literature. Gupta period was known as a golden period for the growth and development of Sanskrit poems and dramas. The great writers like Kalidas, Babhuti, Bharvi, Bharathari, Banabhat, Manga and many other belongs to this period. You have to remember, during Gupta period is said to be the golden period for the development of Sanskrit poems and dramas, and these are the names. Of these, Kalidasa is known as all over the world. His works is Kumar Sambhava, Raghuvansham, Meghaduta, Abhingyam Shakuntalam and Rutu Samhar. What are the works of Kalidas? Kumar Sambhava, Raghuvansham, Meghadoot, Abhingyam Shakuntalam, and Rutu Samhar are renowned for their best poetic and dramatic style. Bana wrote the Kadambari and Harshacharita. Harshacharita is a biography of King Harsha. Other works of the period are Babhuti, Uttar Ramcharit, Bharavis, Kirat Junyam, Vishakadatta's Mudraraksha, Sudrak, Vrichakattikam, and Dundee's Dash Kumar Charita. See, these names are little difficult, children, but you have to read them because the short questions or maybe in blanks, that is in 1 mark question answers, this can be asked. So again I am reading for you once more. Bana wrote Kadambari and Harshacharita. That is the biography of King Harsha. Then Babhuti's Uttar Ramcharita. Bharavi's Kirat, you have to read like this, see. Kirat Arjuniam. Vishakadatta's Mudra Raksha. Shudraks. Mrichkattikam, and Dandi's Dash Kumar Charita. In this, the subjects इस सब में क्या है? Political events, romance, allegories, comedies, and philosophies. In ancient times, verses were composed in earlier from a Gujarati language. In the course of time, Gujarati language developed and many literary works were composed in it. The heritage of Gujarati literature was made prosperous by literary contribution of Narsimha Mehta, Mirabai, Dayaram, Akho Premchand, Pritam, and others who composed beautiful verses, song, garba, narrative poems, and chappas. After that, the scholars like Narmad, Navalram, Kishorlal, Mashruwala, Mahipatram, Pannalal Patel, Uma Shankar Joshi, Mahipatram, Ruparam, Neelkant, Govardhan Ram Tripathi, and others enriched Gujarati literature with their work. We'll continue with this. Next page. The 4 Dravidian language, the Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and Malayalam. These are the 4 languages which is usually commonly used in the south of India. Developed their own scripts and literature. Tamil is the oldest of this, with the literature belonging to the early centuries of Christian era. According to the tradition, 3 literary gatherings and sangams were held at which many sages and poets recited their compositions. They contained many themes like politics, war, and love. The famous works of this body of literature includes Ittukotai, composition of 8 poems. Ittu Tokoi, composition of 8 poems. You have to remember like this. The Tolkappiyam is of grammar, and the Pattu, the 10 songs. The next is Tiruvalluvar. Tiruvalluvar wrote the famous Kurai, which deals with many aspects of life and religion. The Shilapadikaram and Manimekalai. The Shilapadikaram and Manimekalai are some of the most famous works of early Tamil literature. Now, in the next we will continue with the medieval literature in my next part. So, at least you read this much. Try to read it and note down some difficult names and their writings, what they have written about in your notebook, and try to remember them. Thank you.